Okay, so as I mentioned previously, the massing of the building, meaning the exterior walls, the general shape and outline, the roof heights and all that have been completed for this building. So at this point we're going to go back to the first floor and we're going to start placing doors. And we're going to start with the door that goes into this mechanical room for the elevator. So we're going to go to Architecture, Door, and this is just a simple single flush interior 36 by 48 inch door. We're going to place that here. Now if we zoom in to this door, we can see that we have this this column sticking out here outside of the wall. And if you look at our final deliverable, what we've done is we've drawn what I would call a column cover of gypsum wallboard or a partition wall around that column. Now that column is going to go all the way up to the roof, so we're going to select this wall and say create similar, and that pulls all of those constraints from there because this wall goes to the roof. So we can now draw just two wall segments and use our dimensions again from that face to that face and this face to this face. I'm going to throw that dimension there, and then we can use that to size these, and the dimensions are 1 foot and 1'6". So we've got that column cover there. What I like to do, I like to make sure that I have at least a 4-inch return on these doors like that. So on this side of the building we have several exterior doors. There's a double door that goes here into a mechanical room, a single door that goes into a mechanical room, and then an exit door over here. Now the double door is from Revit out of the box content, so we can go to door. We're going to have to load family because the only thing that's loaded in the template is these single flush doors. So load family, and I'm going to go to doors, commercial, and I want door exterior double, the first one in the list. I'm going to open that, and I'm going to choose a let's see here, it's a 6 foot wide door by 7 feet tall, so 72 by 84, and I'm going to place that door. The single doors are not included in Revit out of the box content, so what I've done is I've placed them on our Vanco Hall website here, and there's two family files that you need to download for this, the elevator and the commercial exterior door single. So if you simply open that, it'll open right in Revit, but what you're doing is you're opening a family file. So this is not our project anymore, this is a different file. So to get this in our project, just like we did our title block, we have to hit load into project, and now we have that door loaded in. And the only option we have is a 36 by 84. That's the only type that this door has at this point. So we can place that door and place this door. We can then use the dimensions given in our final deliverable to place those doors. This one here, so from the edge of the fin wall to the edge of the opening is 8 feet. And then we have 3'4" and then a 3'4" masonry opening. These are all MO is masonry opening. And here, same thing, we have a 3'4" masonry opening. And again, you can use these dimensions. I'm not going to show drawing these partition walls because that's pretty simple at this point. And if I could move this around. So I'm going to show this, the elevator shaft. So if we come in here to our elevator, and again I'm going to go back to Vanco Hall, click on that elevator file, open with Revit, load it into our project. This will probably come up because now I have several things open, so you want to choose the file that you're working in, the project file, and simply find a wall. It's a wall-based family, so you can't place this out in the middle, so you have to have a shaft for this. and depending upon how you sort of hover over this thing, it'll place that element. And you can see that my dimensions, my temporary dimensions, are equal, so that is centered in there. And that's exactly where I want to place this. So there's my elevator shaft. Or I should say I've already had my elevator shaft. This is the cab. Now on the second floor plan, the cab opens the other way. So I can go back to, actually I'm not even sure what kind of component that is. That is a generic model. So I believe that would be a component. Just a regular component. And I'm going to place that here on the second floor. Now they don't line up. We're not going to worry about that for now. Because obviously this cab would be in the same position when it goes down. We'd have to modify this, but for now that's fine. Now notice also that I'm still looking on my second floor. I'm looking at my first floor as an underlay. Be sure to turn that off once you don't need it anymore. And my slab edge, I had messed up where I put this. So where I put this elevator shaft, and I had fixed that off camera, so I have to fix this slab edge. By default in Revit, you have to click on the edges of things to select them. If you're having a hard time finding slabs, and that tends to happen a lot with floors and slabs, you can always turn this button on. This is the select elements by face, so I can just hover over something and it selects it. With that off, you can see that the only way I'm going to, if I click here, I'm not selecting the slab. I have to select the edge of the slab. But if I turn that on, now I can just hover over the slab and select it. Edit boundary. You may not have to do this if you have this correct. I'm just going to use the align tool and align that up. Now again, I need to put a little piece of wall here to enclose that column on the second floor. So I'm going to create similar. It's going to grab the top constraint, but because I'm on the second floor, it puts my bottom at level 2, which is exactly how I want to draw this. So I'm just going to draw a little section of wall here to enclose that. And then again, I can use my align tool. I'm going to align to this wall, this wall. So that's going to align below with the wall below as well. Another thing I have to do on the second floor is place my elevation markers for the heights of my slabs or my floors. So to do that, that's an annotation, and right here is spot elevation. And I'm going to place one sort of generally in the middle of that slab, and it has a leader. I usually just, actually I should do it this way. Let me stop that. If you come up here to your options bar, you can turn the leader off before you place it. So you can click once, and then depending upon where you drag, it places the text. I usually edit this because I don't know why it places the text right there. I usually do it like that. So again, spot elevation. And you do have several different types here. I usually use this little target in the project, that's fine. But there's all sorts of others that you can use, like a crosshair, which is just a plus sign. So I stick with this one for now. So I'm going to go back to that target project and click on this slab because that's at a different height, and just move my text over. Make sure you take a look at all your dimensions. Make sure all of the dimensions as the final deliverable are shown. I'm not going to go over those because again, it's starting to get, you know how to do dimensions at this point. So make sure you do that. I'm going to go up to the roof plan now. And again, I don't have any dimensions here yet except for these two. So make sure that you put your dimensions on here. Again, you can use that trick where all the dimensions that are the same from the lower levels you can copy up. The other thing that I have to do on this level is, first I'm going to change my detail level to medium just for a second. You can see that what's happening is our roof level is actually cutting through some of our roof elements, or I should say my roof view. So we need to change our view range here to be high up enough so that we're not cutting through this. So we are essentially hovering over the roof and looking down at it. So we have to change our view range. And I just changed the top, or the top offset from the roof to be about 12 feet. And the cut plane to be the same 12 feet. Hit OK. And now, actually, we need to be higher than that still because this thing's pretty tall. So we can go in, view range. Let's try 16 feet for both of these. Okay, that's good. Now we're not cutting through. We can set this back to coarse. And now the other thing is, on this roof plan, I do want to see the deck below. So again, that's view range, same place. In the bottom, we're just going to say level below, level 2, but you have to, for the view depth, you have to make sure those are the same, or this is even lower than the bottom. So we're going to hit OK, and now we see all of that. So again, we're going to annotate those spot elevations. I'm going to place one there, one here, and one here. And then again, just edit these so that they look nice. Depending upon how big the dimension is, it's going to kind of mask out that marker. The last thing I need to do is place the stair. So we're going to go to the architecture, stair. Now this is already set up for commercial, 7-inch max riser, 11-inch tread. It's going from level 1. We want to make our top level level 2. And we're going to click the railing button up here. We're going to change the default railing to guardrail rectangular. And we're going to have that, that's fine to have the position on the treads. Hit OK. And the way that the stairs work, we generally just draw our center line of our risers. So if I go back to the drawing here, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 risers here. So 6 risers created. Now I'm going to draw 5 risers in this direction, and notice I've given myself enough room so that it forms a landing. So I'm not clicking here next. I'm going to click down here, and then I'm going to do the rest of my risers. So again, I'm not worried about getting this perfect the first time. I'm just placing it. So a few things I have to do is select each of these risers. These are to be 44 inches wide. Actually, that's not correct. I think it's 4 feet 4. That's correct. So select each of these and then use the temporary dimensions to make them 4 feet 4. And now we can sort of move these around. The landing should automatically move with it. I'm going to use the align tool to this tread, this stringer. Actually, I have to do it the opposite way. Let me try that again. Oops. Stringer to tread, stringer to tread. In this case, I have to go tread, I think. Tread. And then, there we go. So now our stair is complete. We can hit the green check mark button. And now we can use our align tools. Now I had already had this aligned to the second floor, but let's say you had it out here. I can align to the slab edge, the top riser. And then I actually like to use my nudge tools, which are just your arrow buttons, your arrow keys, I should say, and get this located in here. So that's it for this tutorial series. Next week we're going to start adding a lot more detail to this building. Thanks.